Coming up, John Kerry meets with his Russian counterpart in hopes to strike a deal for peace over the crisis in Syria. And flames reignite at a massive warehouse fire on the city's south side. And a series of strong-arm robberies has neighbors in Westtown on alert. Good Thursday morning, everybody. It's September 12th. I'm Courtney Hall, and I thank you for waking up with CLTV Morning News. I'll get to all those top stories in just a moment, but first, Tim McGill's got the forecast.
UV index on the high side today is up to 6. Your forecast for this Thursday, partly to mostly sunny for us today. Beautiful day, seasonable temperatures, 76 to 80 for highs, a little bit breezy. It might be just a little bit cooler lakeside with a north-northeast wind there, and only a slight chance for a spotty shower later this afternoon as another cold front approaches. Better chance for a few spotty lake effect showers tonight, early tomorrow, otherwise partly cloudy tomorrow, 66. So some of the coolest weather we've seen in a couple of months shaping up for us, especially Saturday morning with lows in the 40s. Area wide, 69 for a high for us on Saturday, mostly sunny, 70 on Sunday, partly to mostly cloudy, maybe a scattered shower, thunderstorm, mild Monday and Tuesday. Could see a thunderstorm on Wednesday. We warm up to 80 on Wednesday. I'm meteorologist Tim McGill with your weather on the ones from the WGN Weather Center.
And I'm Sarah Ginger in the WGN Traffic Center, and we are seeing some big-time improvement out there on the Bishop Ford. There was an earlier crash heading northbound right around Sibley involving a motorcycle. It's been moved off to the side, all lanes open, so definitely starting to see some improvement out there. Now 25 minutes into the merge. I-57 still really heavy this morning, 30 minutes heading inbound. Now the Eden's slow going on that outbound trip, about 30 minutes heading out. Over to the Kennedy, it's an hour 5 to get you out to the airport. On the Ike, an hour in, 49 out to Route 53. Stevenson, 42 to get you in from the Tri-State. And the Dan Ryan, 22 in, it's about 14 heading outbound. Lakeshore Drive southbound, so it's from Belmont to Fullerton.
U.S. and Russian officials are meeting in Geneva today while both sides continue to work for a diplomatic solution to the crisis in Syria. John Kerry is set to meet with Russia's foreign minister in a series of meetings that could take as long as 3 days. The two sides have talked 9 times since the deadly chemical attack in Syria last month that prompted calls for a possible U.S. military strike. Now this week, Russia proposed a deal that would force Syria to surrender its chemical weapons to international control. Any diplomatic solution would have to be approved by the UN Security Council. And a new report suggests that the U.S. is already arming the Syrian rebels. CNN and the Washington Post are reporting that the CIA has been delivering weapons to rebels for about 2 weeks now. That includes ammunition and some anti-tank weapons. 2 main rebel groups are denying they've received any weapons from the U.S. At the same time, the United Nations released a report yesterday that blamed both the rebels and the Syrian government of committing crimes against humanity in the country's civil war. Russian President Vladimir Putin is getting criticized for his attempt to reach out to Americans. An editorial by Putin was posted on the New York Times website yesterday. In it, Putin says a U.S. military strike without UN approval would constitute an act of aggression and could throw the entire system of international law and order out of balance. But the chairman of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee questions Putin's motives.
I almost wanted to vomit. The reality is I worry when someone who came up to the KGB tells us what is in our national interest and what is not. And, it really raises the questions of how serious this Russian proposal is.
Putin is disputing President Obama for calling America exceptional during his speech Tuesday night. In his column, Putin wrote, quote, "It is extremely dangerous to encourage people to see themselves as exceptional, whatever the motivation. We must not forget that God created us equal." A massive overnight fire at a warehouse rekindles this morning on Chicago's southwest side. Nancy Liu is at the scene with the details. Good morning, Nancy.
Good morning, Courtney. No one was injured in this warehouse fire, but it has had Fire crews busy dealing with it all night long. Engines returned here just around 6 o'clock this morning to deal with a flare-up, and more are possible. The warehouse at 3710 South California still smoldering this morning and keeping fire crews on alert. Officials are expecting flare-ups throughout the day. The fire started at around 11 o'clock last night and quickly went up to 4 alarms before it was initially struck at around 2 a.m. The Romar terminal and warehouse is said to work with many companies doing a lot of shipping and receiving. No one was in that section of the warehouse when the fire broke out in the dock area, which was filled with wooden pallets. The water situation made things more difficult for firefighters since they had to tap into hydrants over a block away and then run lines into the area. Fire and police investigators are looking into the cause of the fire, but an employee tells us that section of the Romar warehouse was only recently occupied.
It was a pallet company that they just partnered with Romar, so they just came like a couple weeks ago. They were just getting set up in there, and I guess, like I said, something yesterday because of the heat, maybe with the pallets kind of ignited or something.
The fire has hampered operations this morning within the warehouse facility, limiting some of the shipping and receiving. There was heightened concern overnight keeping the fire contained because a building nearby houses propane tanks and a lot of paper. So far, no word yet on the cause of the fire. The investigation just getting underway, but again, no injuries. Reporting from Brighton Park, Nancy Liu, WGN News.
All right, thank you, Nancy. The 52-year-old Elgin man is sentenced to 36 years in prison for sexually molesting and photographing a 12-year-old girl for 2 years. Randall Benning was convicted in June on multiple counts of predatory criminal sexual assault, child pornography, and other charges. The victim, who's now 18, testified that when she was 12 years old, she was approached to have sex and pose for these photographs. She says the abuse continued for more than 2 years. Authorities arrested Benning following an Elgin police investigation initiated after the victim told relatives about the abuse in 2011. An elderly woman from Valparaiso is dead after driving her car into a northwest Indiana lake. Rescuers pulled 83-year-old Shirley Grunland out of her car, which plunged into Lake George yesterday afternoon. Hobart police say the driver hit a pole, she smashed through a steel fence, and flew into the water where it began to sink. A dive team went into that water and broke the car window to get her out. She was taken to a local hospital where she later died. Well, Naperville police are issuing a warning to residents after several home burglaries are reported around the town. Last weekend, a car was stolen from a home that was in the 2000 block of Cobblebrook Lane. And the following night, more than $3,000 worth of electronics were stolen in the 800 block of Cool Creek Court. 6 other break-ins were reported last month. Police believe thieves were scouting the neighborhood for several days before the burglaries were committed. Well, a string of strong-arm robberies in the Westtown neighborhood have prompted police to issue a community alert. Tanya Francisco has the details.
There have been 3 incidents reported to police, all taking place on the same day, September 5th. 2 in the morning and 1 in the nighttime. Here's a map of exactly where these happened. The first happened in the 1800 block of West Lake Street. That was around 5:45 in the morning. The second, a block away in the 1700 block of West Lake Street. That was just before 7:30. The third happened in the 100 block of North Ashland Avenue. That was around 9:45 at night. All of this taking place in the city's Westtown neighborhood. Police say the suspect approached the victims and physically threatened the victims, or either told them or showed them he had a weapon and stole their property. The suspect's description varies from incident to incident, and the general description of him is rather vague. Police say the best thing that people can do is just to be aware of their surroundings, remain calm if they are confronted, and report the incident as soon as possible. Reporting from the city's Westtown neighborhood, Tanya Francisco, WGN News.
Well, the Chicago Football Classic makes a return to Soldier Field, and this year's matchup is between Morehouse College and Central State University. Now, yesterday, Mayor Emanuel welcomed representatives from the two colleges to City Hall. The game will be held on Saturday, September 21st. Kickoff is at 4 p.m., and of course, there's a pep rally on Friday.
I think this is actually a fitting game, the Classic, because we are on, as we all know, the 50th anniversary of Dr. King's great speech, I Have a Dream, and that his alma mater, Morehouse College, will be playing here.
Tickets cost between $15 to $40. This is the 16th year of the Classic. WGN-TV is a sponsor.
Cooling off a bit today and really cooling off tomorrow and Saturday. Some of the coolest weather we've seen in nearly 3 months. A complete 7-day forecast coming up. Well, we start off mild this morning, but not nearly as muggy as the past couple of mornings. And the dew points, they'll drop as the day goes on. So the air that's coming in is going to be a little bit drier this afternoon, a little more comfortable. Here's a look at the sunrise this morning from Weatherbug camera at Old St. Mary's School. Start off with some sun mixed with just a few clouds there. We had some hot highs again yesterday. It's been steamy for September, the first couple days of the week. 94 in Homewood, Von Steuben Metro Science Center got up to 92, Naperville 91. And one of our other Weatherbug locations, the Salvation Army Croc Center of Chicago, hit 90 degrees. So another scorcher for us yesterday. We get some relief today. We could use more rain. We don't have much in the forecast other than some spotty showers overnight tonight. Here's some of the rainfall amounts we saw from yesterday, about 1/4 of an inch in Aurora, 17 100ths in East Chicago. And these are some of the heavier rainfall amounts we saw. Most of us picked up less than 2/10 of an inch. Your headlines for today: sensational September day with sunshine and 70s today. And again, lower relative humidity overall. Coolest nights we've seen since June arriving here tonight, and then again I think tomorrow night into Saturday morning, with many of us getting down to the 40s, and we'll have highs only in the 60s the next couple of days, tomorrow and again on Saturday. And no 90s in sight. We will warm up a little bit towards the end of next week, but right now cooler than average weather expected through Tuesday. And average highs for this time of the year are right around 76. Today we'll make it up to 78. It's a little bit above average. The low this morning 67. That was also above average. Start off with this morning with a cold front sliding south of the area, taking most of the clouds with it. There's still some high mid-level clouds here, but the rain itself is pushed off towards the south and east. That's one cold front. There's another one that'll be sinking south across the area later on this afternoon. That could touch off a widely scattered shower, but pretty few and far between. And in the cold air upstream to the north and west of us, they've got frost advisories and freeze warnings, in fact, for northern Minnesota for later on tonight and early tomorrow morning. That's where our air is coming from. So the second cold front arrives later on this afternoon. Our RPM mile hinting there could be a couple of spotty showers with it. Don't hold your breath. It looks like we could see a few lake effect showers, though, later on tonight, early tomorrow, especially from the city southward along the lakeshore through northern Indiana. A little better chance for that tomorrow. And then high pressure in general is going to cool things down and keep most of us dry tomorrow with that north wind. It's going to be quite a bit cooler tomorrow, feeling like fall for sure. So the RPM mile is painting in a little bit of rain. Again, most of that will be spotty stuff overnight tonight. Highs today in the 70s, mid to upper 70s. Tonight's lows, some 40s in some of the outlying areas. Downtown in the 50s. 30s maybe up in Madison, so even colder there. Tomorrow's highs only in the 60s. Your forecast time for today: partly to mostly sunny, seasonable temps, a little bit breezy. Highs today 76 to 80 degrees, slightly cooler lakeside with that wind off the lake. Partly cloudy for us tonight, maybe a spotty shower, breezy and cooler. 48 in our cooler spots in the outlying areas, 58 in the loop. And your 7-day forecast tomorrow: a mix of clouds and sun, again maybe a spotty lake effect shower. Otherwise partly cloudy, 66 tomorrow, 69 with some sunshine for us on Saturday. For the Bears game on Sunday, 70 and partly to mostly cloudy, maybe a scattered shower or thunderstorm. Mild and dry Monday and Tuesday, although a little bit below average. We warm up to 80 on Wednesday with maybe a scattered thunderstorm. I'm meteorologist Tim McGill with your weather on the ones from the WGN Weather Center.
And I'm Sarah Ginger in the WGN Traffic Center. We're going to take a look at your tollways this time around, starting with I-90. Everything really cleared up here as you're approaching the River Road Toll Plaza. No major issues there. And you can see that reflected here in your speeds. Approaching I-90 or approaching the Tri-State, no major issues. 88 still a bit slow as you're eastbound between about the Aurora Toll Plaza in Farnsworth, slowing again approaching 355. And again, as you're approaching the Tri-State. On 355 itself, watch for heavy traffic from 355 into Ogden. You're in the 20-mile-per-hour range there. Tri-State northbound slowing from Archer to Ogden. And again, as you're heading northbound from 290 to Grand. So we'll look at your tolls. We'll have a look at your expressways coming up.
Well, a sixth Metro board member is stepping down. Now, that's in the wake of the scandal over CEO Alex Clifford's departure. William Widmer had a hand in negotiating Clifford's $80,000 severance package. He will leave the board once Cook County commissioners choose his replacement. When Clifford resigned, he claimed he was forced out because he wouldn't give in to political pressure to hire recommendations from House Speaker Mike Madigan. The CTA may be preparing to slash dozens of jobs during the holiday season. The transit agency says more than 60 non-union employees could lose their jobs by Thanksgiving. The job cuts may help close a $10 million budget gap before the end of the year. Now, this is the second time in recent years that the CTA has cut non-union workers. In 2011, the CTA let go 200 non-union workers. The new Pullman neighborhood Walmart store is now open for business. Customers did some shopping after yesterday's ribbon-cutting ceremony with the mayor and other officials in attendance. The store employs more than 400 people. And under pressure from 9th Ward Alderman Anthony Beal, the CTA at the last minute provided bus service to the store at 109th and Doty Avenue. That service used to stop a half a mile away from the store. Well, if Kristen Stewart doesn't seem that interesting to you, you're not alone, but one royal prince disagrees with us. The amount he spent for just 15 minutes of her time coming up. And Suge Knight is arrested on an outstanding warrant. Details straight ahead. Welcome back. Here are a few other top stories we're following this morning. The Port Authority of Massachusetts is apologizing for a poorly timed emergency drill on the anniversary of the September 11th attacks. Yesterday's drill at Boston's Logan Airport included thick black smoke and flames on the airfield. 2 planes used in the attacks 12 years ago took off from that airport. And Republicans on Capitol Hill are threatening to shut down the government next month over funding for President Obama's health care law. Today's vote on a new operating budget was canceled because House conservatives complained it does not eliminate funds for the Affordable Health Care Act. The current fiscal year ends September 30th. A woman accused of killing her husband of 8 days finds out today if she can stay out of jail as she awaits trial. Prosecutors say Jordan Graham confessed she pushed her husband off a cliff after an argument last July in Glacier National Park. The prosecution says Graham tried to cover up that crime. The nuclear reactor in North Korea appears to be up and running again. Satellite images from 13 days ago show steam coming from a nuclear facility in Yongbyon. Researchers say they believe that means that the reactor's steam turbines and electric generators are on. That would allow the production of plutonium and uranium for nuclear weapons. North Korea has not confirmed this, but it did announce plans to restart the plant 5 months ago.
Well, we started the day off with some sunshine. This is what it looked like from Weather Buck here at St. Philip Lutheran School. Some sunshine mixed with some high mid-level clouds. They should thin a little bit. Overall, it looks like a partly to mostly sunny day shaping up for us today. There's a slight chance for a spotty shower popping up late this afternoon as another cold front arrives, but I think most of us are going to be dry. A mild day, not nearly as hot as the past couple. 76 to 80 for highs, maybe a little bit cooler lakeside. Could see a few spotty lake effect showers tonight and especially early tomorrow. Otherwise, partly cloudy tomorrow. 66. And it looks like we'll see a few lows in the 40s tonight, many more. It looks like Saturday morning for one of the coolest or coldest mornings we've seen since June. Mostly sunny Saturday, 69, 70 on Sunday, mostly cloudy, maybe a scattered shower or thunderstorm. Mild Monday and Tuesday and dry, warming up to 80 on Wednesday with a chance for a thunderstorm. I'm meteorologist Tim McGill with the weather on the ones from the WGN Weather Center.
And I'm Sarah Ginger of the WGN Traffic Center. We're continuing to see a bit of a backup here on the inbound side of the Bishop Ford as you're traveling inbound. There was an earlier crash at Sibley. Now it's been cleared out of the way, but again, still a bit of a backup because of that. Your inbound trip now 26 minutes in from I-80 as you're continuing to slow approaching the merge. Heavy on 57 as well, 33 minutes heading inbound. Eden's outbound building at about 30 minutes. The Kennedy 52 in 55 heading outbound. On the Ike about an hour in from Route 53 over to the Stevenson 40. 45 to get you in from the tri-state. Dan Ryan just 22 in, a nice 14-minute ride as you're heading southbound to 95th. That is a look at traffic.
The hit show Breaking Bad is in its 5th and final season, but fans may not have seen the last of one popular character. There are talks of a spin-off featuring Bob Odenkirk. The plans now are for a prequel centered on the evolution of the character Saul Goodman. The show would delve into Goodman's life before he became Walter White's lawyer. Final casting and timing of the series have not been revealed, and the working title for now is Better Call Saul. Another Hollywood couple is starting a family. The Office star John Krasinski and his wife, British actress Emily Blunt, are expecting a baby. The two have been married since 2010. No word on when Blunt is due. Twilight star Kristen Stewart is a hot commodity to one royal. The unnamed Middle Eastern prince dropped $500,000 to spend 15 minutes with Stewart last December in Madison Square Garden. The prince's identity has not been revealed. The price tag breaks down to $555 for each second of Stewart's time. But that meet and greet was for a good cause. The deal was to raise funds for Hurricane Sandy relief efforts. And hip-hop mogul Suge Knight can't seem to stay out of trouble for too long. He was arrested in Los Angeles yesterday on an outstanding misdemeanor warrant following a traffic stop. Now, Knight was released 3 hours later after posting $20,000 bond. Knight has had legal problems in the past. He spent 5 years in prison for a parole violation in the 90s. A warehouse on the southwest side bursts into flames overnight. How crews got this under control, coming up in a report from the scene. Plus, lawmakers react to President Vladimir Putin's op-ed in the New York Times as the Secretary of State, John Kerry, meets with his Russian counterpart to talk about Syria. Stay with us.